Still on the story of Joshua and the Israelites and making that decision of embracing the Gibeonites and entering into covenant with them without consulting God. It truly cost the Israelites, because guess what happened? When the other kings that used to be friends with the Gibeonites realized that they had entered into covenant with the Israelites, guess what? They became automatically an enemy to them, because they did not believe in the same principles of the Israelites, and so now it's like they felt that they have a need to attack the Gibeonites, and so they became automatic enemies. And guess what happened? Because of the covenant, Israel has to be inducted in the war that they were never really, they didn't have any business being part of that war. But guess what happened? God, in his mercy, because of the integrity of the Israelites realizing their error and not being willing to kill the Gibeonites, even when they found out that they made a mistake, that they were deceived. Because the covenant has been made with the name of God, they had no choice but to honor that, because God is a God who honors covenant. And so they had to be part of the war, people that have to war against other nations that were coming after the Gibeonites. And I believe that God also showed his mercy by showing up for the Israelites, because then Joshua had to consult God. And God spoke to Joshua, telling him to go forth. And so they would not have been able to win that war if God did not show up for them. And this is what it really means to consult with God, so that when we find ourselves fighting battles, we will be able to confidently go to God, telling God, this is what is going on. And so if God was the one that sent us on a mission, of course, God is going to be there to show up for us. But when God did not send us on a mission, we're going to be very terrified to go to God, because first of all, we knew that we stepped out of boundary with God. And so for me, even myself talking, there have been times that I made certain decisions that were not really inspired by God. I felt that it was the right thing to do. And I also felt the need of, oh, this sounds good, this looks good, let me just go ahead and do it. But guess what? I felt so stuck. And the first thing I noticed that during those moments, I felt embarrassed, but I had to go back to God, because especially when things start getting difficult, I had to go back to God. It takes humility. I remember at different times I had to humble myself to, repent before God, telling God, I'm sorry, I did not consult you before doing this, and wait on God to really deliver me, because each one of us need God's assistance, especially when we find ourselves in difficult situations. I hope you remain blessed.